Animals, like humans, are social creatures. They form bonds with members of their species and, in some cases, with members of other groups. These cross-species friendships can be surprising, heartwarming, and even beneficial for the animals involved. In this video, we'll talk about the top 10 unusual animal friendships that demonstrate the power of connection and empathy across different variety of organisms. So make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel. Let's start the video. Number 10. Milo, the dog, and Bone Digger, the lion. Milo, the dachshund, and Bone Digger, the lion, share a unique and genuine bond. Bone Digger, a 500-pound lion, has a metabolic bone disease that has rendered him largely crippled. Since he was a cub, Bone Digger has been inseparable from Milo, his little sausage dog pal, and his companions Bullet and Angel. They have been together for 7 years at GW Exotic Animal Park in Wynnewood, Oklahoma, and are tended for by John Runk, a double amputee zookeeper. Milo, Bullet, and Angel constantly defend and soothe Bone Digger despite his disability. They hug, eat raw meat, and play together at the park. The zookeeper described their relationship as the only one of its sort in the world. Milo even mimics the lions huffing to communicate with the other lions in the park. The three also adored Zookeeper, playing and racing joyfully towards him whenever they see him after a long time. Number 9. Owen the hippopotamus and Mzee the tortoise. Officials say young hippopotamus Owen survived the tsunami waves on Kenya's coast. He developed a close connection with a century-old tortoise, Mzee, in an animal facility in Mombasa's port city. Owen, weighing 300 kilos, was washed down the Sabaki River into the Indian Ocean during the tsunami. He was then thrown onto the shore and rescued by wildlife rangers. Owen was taken to Haller Park in Kenya and released into the park, where he immediately ran to Mzee. The pair were often seen curled up together, taking daily walks throughout the park and hanging out at the pond. They quickly became famous, drawing the interest of the world's press and tourists. Mzee's comforting presence was crucial for Owen's growth and development. This heartwarming friendship between a hippo and a tortoise is truly beautiful. Number 8. Anjana, the chimpanzee and tiger cubs. 2 white tiger cubs were separated from their mother due to a flood in their sanctuary. An unlikely surrogate mother, a chimpanzee named Anjana, stepped in to care for them. The cubs, who were only 21 days old at the time, were helped by Anjana and China York, a zookeeper, at the Institute of Greatly Endangered and Rare Species in South Carolina. Anjana had been assisting China in caring for and raising baby animals since she was very young, so she was no stranger to the task. The cubs quickly became inseparable from their new motherly figures, forming a strong bond with both Anjana and China. Number 7. Kate, the Great Dane, and Pippin the deer. Kate, a Great Dane, and Pippin, a deer, formed an unlikely friendship when Isabel Springett found a newborn fawn in the woods. Initially, she left the fawn, hoping its mother would return. But when she heard the fawn's cries the next day, she took it and placed it on Kate's bed. Kate, who had never had puppies, took to the fawn, allowing it to suckle despite having nothing to suck. As Pippin grew, she would spend nights in the woods but always return to Kate. Their bond grew, and they went from mother-daughter to best friends. Isabel was amazed at how the two animals adjusted their behaviors to suit each other. Their story inspired the Springetts so much that they wrote a book about it, titled Kate and Pippin, an unlikely love story. Number 6. Herman, the pigeon, and Lundy, the puppy. Herman, a pigeon who cannot fly, and Lundy, a puppy who cannot walk, formed an unexpected bond. Stu Rogers, a rescue organization based in Rochester, New York, took both in. When it was determined that Herman was unable to fly, he was sent to the rescue center. Typically, pigeons in this situation are euthanized, but Rogers decided to give him a chance. Around the same time, she took in Lundy, a Chihuahua puppy with a spinal condition that prevented him from using his back legs. Both of them found solace in one another, and when Rogers shared images of them, she got an outpouring of love and funds for their veterinary care. Rogers believes that with surgery and proper care, Lundy will be able to walk again. Number 5. Bubbles, the African elephant, and Bella, the Labrador. Bubbles, an African elephant, and Bella, a black Labrador, are inseparable friends at the Myrtle Beach Safari in South Carolina. Bubbles, rescued in Africa after her parents were killed by poachers, was one of the few elephants adopted, while others were either freed or killed due to a lack of suitable facilities. Initially, Bubbles was just 340 pounds and 42 inches tall, but now she's almost 9 feet tall and weighs about 4 tons. Bella, on the other hand, was abandoned in the park by a contractor who constructed Bubbles' swimming pool. Their friendship is adorable, often seen playing together in the water. Bubbles tosses the ball with her trunk while Bella leaps off Bubbles' head or back and swims to collect it. Their bond is a heartwarming example of the power of friendship across species. Number 4. Anthony the lion and Riley the coyote. Anthony the lion and Riley the coyote. They first met when they were 1 month old. They were rescued and sent to Keepers of the Wild, an exotic animal refuge in Arizona. Anthony was taken there as a sick cub after being auctioned off in Virginia and Arizona, and fish saved Riley. Because lions and coyotes are social animals, Anthony and Riley quickly developed a close bond. They would play, groom each other, and keep an eye on each other during naps. Anthony was accompanied by Riley whenever he left the sanctuary for surgeries for a birth defect. Because the pair experienced such intense separation anxiety, one wouldn't eat without the other present. Their love for each other was so strong it was captured in a PBS Nature episode called Animal Odd Couples. Sadly, Anthony passed away several years later, and Riley spent her days living with another coyote in the sanctuary. Number 3. Bee the giraffe and Wilma the ostrich. Bee the giraffe and Wilma the ostrich have built a strong connection at Busch Gardens in the United States, where they both live in a beautiful 65-acre setting. Their friendship is natural, as they spend time together willingly. Zookeepers have observed that these two animals can't seem to get enough of each other. Perhaps they bonded with their long necks or their gorgeous gaits, but something magical brought Bee and Wilma together. Busch Gardens is a Serengeti plain of 65 acres, home to zebras, rhinos, giraffes, African elephants, and birds. While most animals keep to their own species, Bee and Wilma, who were both born and nurtured in the park, have sought each other out. Jason Green, a zookeeper, explained that the animals in the park have plenty of opportunities to interact with one another. He further explained that giraffes and ostriches by nature are very curious animals and don't shy away from checking each other out. Number 2. Tinny the dog and Sniffer the wild fox. Tinny the dog and Sniffer the wild fox is a unique pair of friends from different worlds. Tinny lives with his owner, photographer Torgy Burge, in Norway's woodlands. While out on a walk, they came across Sniffer, a wild fox. Despite their differences, Tinny and Sniffer developed a great friendship. Burge now follows them around with his camera, capturing their playful antics. This unlikely friendship has changed Burge's perspective on Norway's fox fur trade. He is now working with writer Berit Helberg to outlaw fox hunting for fur in Norway, in part by producing The Fox and the Dog, a pictorial book documenting Tinny and Sniffer's travels. This heartwarming story reminds us that wild animals, often feared or misunderstood, can have more in common with our beloved pets than we realize. Number 1. Shere Khan the tiger, Baloo the bear, and Leo the lion. Baloo the bear, Leo the lion, and Shere Khan the tiger were rescued from a drug dealer who had severely abused them. They were transported to Noah's Ark Sanctuary in Locust Grove, Georgia, where they got care. Baloo underwent surgery to remove a harness that had grown into his skin and resulted in abnormalities. After surviving their tragic early years, the animals formed an unbreakable bond, gaining the moniker BLT. They ate, slept, and played together, seeking grooming and affection by licking and stroking heads. Leo died in 2016 from several liver tumors, and 2 years later, Shere Khan died in the arms of his caretaker, leaving Baloo behind. Shere Khan was renowned as the strongest of the three, and he enjoyed pouncing and grooming his pals. The sanctuary made it a top priority to ensure that Baloo did not suffer from the death of his friends, regularly watching him to prevent any bad health or mental effects. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to stay updated with more exciting content. Thanks for watching.